What's up, guys? It's Swans here. I'm gonna catch up on some movies I haven't talked about yet on the channel, and those movies are gonna be Dìdi, Cuckoo, and Deadpool and Wolverine. Starting first with Dìdi. Dìdi is a coming of age, I hope I'm pronouncing that fucking name right. Dìdi is a coming of age comedy drama following a 13-year-old Taiwanese American boy basically growing up and experiencing all the highs and lows of adolescence, all the awkward moments, the funny moments of just growing up, the do's and don'ts, and all the experiences that come with that. And you guessed it, the boy's name is Dìdi. Well, that's his nickname. His real name is Chris Wang, played by the actor Isaac Wang, who fucking kills it. I think he is a literal child. I think he's like 16 right now, which is crazy. I may fuck these names up. I apologize to anyone who I mess up on. I am quite illiterate. Shirley Chen plays the older sister, and Joan Chen plays the mom, and she steals the show. She is so fucking good in this. She puts on such a dramatic performance. The movie is funny, but it's also very heartfelt, especially because of the dynamic between the mom and the son, which is good because at first I was kind of worried, is this movie just going to be a nostalgia fest? It takes place in 2008, and we get a lot of memorabilia from the start of the movie. We get things like MySpace, we get these old websites, how people used to type on their old ass computers, the clothes that they wore, the slang that they said, the way that they talked in this movie, oh my god. Speaking of that, the humor is they're middle schoolers, they're going to high school, so it's very childish, but it's very realistic. It's kind of heartwarming. It reminds you of, oh my god, I actually used to talk like that. I really love what this movie is going for. It didn't hit the emotional beats as I was hoping it would for me, but it does pick up. The first half of this movie, the first third, the setup of everything, it is kind of slow, it is kind of boring, but as the movie goes on, you develop a better, stronger connection with these characters, and you start caring about them more, you start getting invested in the story a lot more, which obviously was my favorite part. It was shot well, the music was pretty good all around, the acting was great. So yeah, this was a pretty good movie. It had a story to tell, which I really liked. It wasn't just reminiscence of teenage years or childhood years or the 2000s aesthetic. It had characters with character arcs, and you cared about them, which I like. I'm giving Dìdi, I'm giving Dìdi a 6 out of 10. I would recommend it. I believe it's still in theaters. Please watch it. It's a good movie. With a similar recommendation, I would recommend Minding the Gap from 2018, Bing Liu's feature debut. This is a documentary following 3 friends growing up. They're right out of high school, early 20s, and it takes the span over a few years, and we see the ups and downs of adulthood, and it's pretty crazy what he was able to capture on film in real life. This is easily one of the greatest documentaries I've ever seen. Probably my favorite coming of age story. I don't want to say too much. I want to do a full review on that one soon, but it's streaming on Hulu. If you like coming of age stories, you have to watch Minding the Gap. The other movie I saw was Cuckoo, directed by Tillman Singer, starring Hunter Schafer and Dan Stevens. So Cuckoo follows a teenage girl named Gretchen, played by Hunter Schafer, where she leaves America to move to Germany to live with her dad at this resort, until she starts noticing weird, creepy things around. She starts seeing women walking around, vomiting, being nauseous. She starts hearing weird, strange noises. One thing leads to another, and we have a horror movie. A convoluted horror movie. I like confusing movies. I liked Enemy. I could handle weird ambiguity. I could handle, a David Lynch here and there. This movie was pretty underwhelming because it was quite confusing. Now, I like confusion, especially in horror movies. Depending on what the screenplay is and what you're trying to do, it can make the movie scarier. This movie, I think, suffered from that. Cuckoo is kind of all over the place. It starts off strong. It starts off scary, starts off creepy. It's beautifully shot. The acting is great. Hunter Schafer kills it. Dan Stevens as the insane German doctor fucking kills it. But the story itself, it's so messy. Not only are things not explained, which in itself isn't a sin, but specifically with this movie, it felt unsatisfactory. Not only that, but there are also storylines that are not resolved. In some movies, that could be a plus, but in Cuckoo, I feel like it was a letdown. By the time the credits rolled, me and my friend, we just looked at each other like, okay. I like the Dario Argento influence. Again, like I said, it was shot well. It had creepy, cool ideas. But this was too confusing, at least for me. I couldn't get into the story. It just felt jumbled up. The story just didn't work for me. I couldn't feel too invested. Hunter Schafer killed it. Dan Stevens was great. But overall, I don't think I would recommend this movie. I'm giving Cuckoo a 4 out of 10. For the similar recommendation to Cuckoo, if you want to see a horror movie that's violent, that's weird, it's also ambiguous, but the story benefited from that, at least for me, I would recommend Mandy from 2018, directed by Panos I fucked that up. Starring Nick Cage, Andrea Riseborough, fuck me, Andrea Riseborough, and Linus Roche. I swear to God, I'm not illiterate. I don't want to say too much about this movie. This is a revenge story, a psychedelic, weird, violent, awesome horror movie that's metal as fuck, that's crazy. It's got an iconic Nick Cage performance, but that's not even the show stealer. Andrea, the woman who plays Mandy, also kills it, but Linus, as Jeremy Sand, the antagonist, steals the fucking show. He is fantastic, creepy, unnerving, but also charismatic. He's a cult leader. It's shot beautifully, it's very psychedelic, it's got an iconic soundtrack, such a good soundtrack. The opening sequence is a King Crimson song. So that should already be. But yeah, check out Mandy. I believe it's also streaming on Hulu. And lastly, let's talk about Deadpool and Wolverine. Directed by God himself, Sean Levy, the mastermind behind Free Guy. This movie is the third in the Deadpool trilogy, and it basically is the multiverse, whatever the fuck you want to say it. It hits Deadpool's universe, and he has to team up with the Wolverine to save his planet, save his home from total extinction. Because the multiverse is, in fact, collapsing within itself, or some shit like that. It was okay. It wasn't bad. I expected worse. I'm not a big fan. I like the first Deadpool. I'm not a big fan of Ryan Reynolds. I think his shtick, his humor is kind of overplayed. It's just not for me. The fourth wall breaking was funny at first. When we first got Deadpool in 2016, it was a breath of fresh air, especially because we were already pretty deep in the Marvel fatigue, the superhero fatigue, so it was fun. It was cool seeing Deadpool, a character that's cursing, a character that doesn't give a shit, a character that's violent in a superhero movie. Yes, I know Blade exists. Yes, I've seen Watchmen. You know what I'm trying to say. Deadpool 2, I don't really remember at all. I know like Thanos is in it and this short Mexican kid. And who's the black girl that plays Domino? I don't know, but she's really pretty. I forgot her name. So I don't think that's a good thing that I don't remember anything from the second one. I remember a lot from the first one. This one was pretty good. Well, it was pretty good. I laughed a few times, more than I expected. Obviously, some of the humor didn't work at all, but humor is subjective. Some people will find this movie fucking hilarious, but some people will roll their eyes and be like, oh my god, that sucked ass. I thought some of the jokes worked. I thought it was funny. Obviously, not every joke landed, but I wasn't being tortured. I wasn't like, oh my god, get me out of here. Like, nah, it was... Hugh Jackman was obviously good. He's good in basically everything he's in. Ryan Reynolds did his thing. He was good in this movie. It wasn't annoying. So, yeah. The story was pretty uninteresting, obviously, but you're not really there for the story. You're there for the dynamic of Deadpool and Wolverine, the silly guy and the straight guy. Comedy duo has been working since forever. And it works in this movie. They're pretty funny, the way that they riff off each other. You got Logan telling Deadpool to literally shut the fuck up basically the whole movie. The story isn't, again, like I said, nothing interesting, nothing crazy. It's basically just cameos, the movie, like most of these movies are. The antagonists were boring and forgettable, including Tom Wambsgans. Yeah, it was okay. I mean, I don't know if I'd recommend it. It wasn't horrible, but came and went. I wouldn't watch it again. I'm giving Deadpool and Wolverine a 5 out of 10. It was okay. For my similar recommendation for this movie, it would have to be Everything Everywhere All at Once, directed by the Daniels from 2022. I know everyone's gonna say this movie's overrated. Peace be with you. Cool. To me, this movie fucking still rocks. It takes the concept of the multiverse and it basically makes it interesting and makes it human, and it tells a beautiful story, just shitting on nihilism and, oh my god, the abdominal human fucking spirit. This is literally the movie. So optimistic, so beautiful, so funny. The action is good. It takes the multiverse concept and turns it into an original, funny, action-packed story. You actually care about the characters. You give a shit about them because they're not only well written, but they're performed beautifully by, who do we got? I'm about to fuck these names up. We got Michelle Yeoh as the mom. We have Ke Huy Quan as the dad. And we have Stephanie Heuss as the daughter. Apologies to all those actors. I meant no disrespect. You were magnificent in this movie. Holy shit. I love the character dynamics between the family members. It's a beautiful movie with a fucking beautiful message. If you're gonna watch a funny, action-packed, multiverse concept movie, I would recommend Everything Everywhere All at Once. Fuck film Twitter. This movie's good. Sorry. Alright, that's a little catch-up with a couple movies I've seen. There are obviously more movies I've seen this year, such as Oddity, Longlegs. Have I seen anything else? Dune 2 came out last year. It didn't come out this... Did it come out this year? Did Dune 2 come out this year? I don't know. I can't think right now, but I know I've seen more than that. So I'll probably pump out a few more of these style like videos of where I'm just wrapping up a couple movies I can talk about like that in the next few days, next few weeks. But my next video is going to be the Alien franchise ranking. I've been working on that. I'm very excited for that one. Stay tuned, and I'll see you at the next one. Thank you.